Hello and welcome to the TelecomTV Summit on AI and Automation. I'm Guy Daniels, Director of Content, and coming up now is our discussion on successful network AI evolution. Red Hat, Intel and HPE have enjoyed over 20 years of partnerships that have enabled CSPs to simplify and de-risk the deployment of open cloud-native networks. All three companies embrace an ecosystem-forward approach and work closely with partners to support telcos in best-of-breed, innovation-driven networking. Well, joining me now to discuss the development and use of AI and ML by telcos are Bill Wright, Head of AI, ML and Intelligent Edge, Global Verticals and Accounts at Red Hat, Raul Diego, Product Manager, Communications Technology Group at Hewlett Packard Enterprise, and Yeang, Senior Director, Market Development at Intel. Hello everyone, very good to see you all. Thanks for joining this session. Now we're talking about AI and ML advancements and strategies. So can you each give us an update on what your companies are doing in this space? And Bill, let me start with you.
Oh, thank you so much. And it's been a pretty exciting time for us. I think the recent release of the Red Hat OpenShift data science platform has been really a huge step forward for us. It really allows you to enable model development, deployment, training, and testing, and utilizes a number of open source projects and tools that really help you build an AI model creation and deployment workflow. And then there's also the enterprise neurosystem community. Red Hat does quite a bit of work in different communities, and that is really dedicated to creating almost I guess you could say a business singularity, taking all the multiple AI applications around an enterprise and unifying them in a cross-correlation framework. So really, all those different applications almost become one in essence. And that's a long-term research and development group, basically. It'll take some time to get there, but it's been really exciting working with all the different companies and partners. We have the Stanford Linear Accelerator, Harvard Analytics, IBM Research, Percepta Labs, Intel, Cove, and others that are all involved. And so that's been a very exciting development for us.
Great, thanks very much, Bill. And Yeang, what are you doing at Intel in the AI ML space?
Intel is enabling the major network use cases with AI capability running on the Xeon scalable platforms with the built-in AI acceleration function, right, come along with the server platform itself. At the same time, we've been using the optimized AI ML tools and a specific use case reference model to help our partner for faster AI adoption and optimization. So just imagine our developer, you could enable your network function with AI capability running on HPE standard high volume Xeon-based server with a Red Hat OpenShift AI development environment. This is a very familiar and effective solution for developer to jump right on. Right, we just simply make it easier for our partners to get their hands on, right, to start their AI journey.
Great. And Raul, can you give us an update on what HPE is doing?
In HPE, we are working on an HPE solution fully integrated end-to-end for 5G automation, enabling closed-loop scenarios and use cases, and based on a combination of an intent-based orchestration and ML AI assurance solution. So with this, we are able to tackle with the increasing complexity of the newest networks, in particular on 5G, by digesting the information, by applying ML AI to detect through an anomaly detection engine to predict and also to remediate.
Great. Well, thanks everybody. Can we look now at some of the challenges that telcos are facing in adopting or implementing AI and ML technologies? And Raul, let's continue our discussion here. Let's start with you first.
So there are multiple challenges. There are challenges in many fronts. So there are challenges in the skills in ML AI. There are challenges in technology to cope with this huge volume of data generated in the new networks. There are challenges in security, but I think the main challenge is in the focus. The ML AI, I think that should be on use cases. So the ML AI should be driven by use cases. This is what we are doing in HP. We are focusing on use cases. In particular, we are focusing on use cases related to network operations. And when you are putting focus on a certain use case, then the challenges are more specific and they are more affordable. So in the particular case of the type of solution that we are bringing to the market, the challenges are, let's say, limited. So for us, for example, when we work on network operation use cases, the ML AI skills are not meant for people who are working on network operations. So for us, the main users of this type of new use cases around the network operations, they are users who has a lot of expertise in network operations. They are going to use new tools for sure. The processes are new as well, but there is no need in our view for having ML AI skills in these network operation teams. So all in all, there are tons of challenges in adopting ML AI. But if we focus on use cases, if we focus on scenarios, the challenges are limited, are under control.
Great, thank you, Raul. And Bill, what are the challenges that you're seeing over at Red Hat?
I think one of the more daunting challenges that we're dealing with right now has really been in the area of data and understanding what data you can use, how to use it, and basically the flood of data coming into AI models from a training perspective, understanding how that needs to be labeled or addressed, or how you deal with unlabeled data. All these different areas are being looked at right now in earnest to basically make that easier for the enterprise to manage. And so one of the areas we're looking into in the enterprise neurosystem community is really something where you could create a metadata framework that looks at the patterns of data, and you get a certain degree of granularity, and you're still able to get the functionality you require without having to go too deep and understand, I guess, or rather violate any kind of regulations from that perspective. So that's been an interesting exercise, and I think that is becoming one of the main challenges. But I do think it's one that we can overcome in time.
Great, thanks, Bill. And Yeang, we've heard from Raul and Bill there about some of the challenges that telcos are facing in the deployment of AI and ML. Are there any other challenges that you're seeing over at Intel?
Yes, certainly. Raul and Bill covers a pretty comprehensive viewpoint. I'll take a broader pictures view that telco today, they are at the mid of their AI journey, deciding how to adopt the AI technology. They're thinking about how to monetize their data for higher return, and have to plan ahead, right, to whether build AI capabilities in-house or just consume it, right, as a services from a third party. All those will require a proper planning, right, as part of the AI journey. To look into network plus the AI combined skill set together are still quite hard to combine today in the market, right? If you intend to go and hire someone that come along with both sides of the skill set, it's not easy. So it's really a journey that telco going to embark, right? The AI journey will need to consider things like the skill set like data management, right? What's the strategy, how to train the existing resources to acquire the AI ML skill set, right? The tools to adopt, and how to manage the whole life cycle, right? So this is where the partner here like Intel, HP, and Red Hat, right? We have a lot more to offer here to help our telco, right, to build their AI journey, right, within a familiar environment, right, and that help to protect their investment.
Well, thanks, everybody. Lots for telcos to be aware of there. So moving on and just following up from Yeang, what you've just spoken about, how can Red Hat, Intel and HPE jointly support telcos as they adopt these new technologies? And Yeang, let me come to you first.
As I described just now, right, as a continuity, right, to the topic, network AI is an evolution of the network transformation journey, right? It's part of the network transformation journey that the partner here meant to help the telco to finish the job, right? If you will, right? This is a form of the a critical technology to deliver the promise of the network agility. So having an AI-driven telco network, it will address a 5G real-time requirement, right? Offer effective resources allocation, right? Based on the user needs. This is where Intel, HP, Red Hat together, right? We partner in the mission to power the AI transformation with the telco together. Together, we have from Intel, we have a complete technology portfolio offering the AI computing platform with a optimized AL, ML tools, right, and use cases, their reference pipeline for the network itself, right, helping the customer to optimize their TCO performance, right, by leveraging on what we bring along, right, as the underneath a Xeon telco server platform with a merged ecosystem, right, to develop the AI ML models. That go further integration with a Red Hat stack running on HPE servers, right? And I'll let Raul and Bill here to touch more on, right, in terms of what they are doing, right? But collectively, right, we deliver the good foundation for the AI for telco to consume.
Great. Well, let's pick up on that now. Raul, let me start with you. What are you doing at HP, or how are you working with Red Hat and Intel to help telcos adopt these new technologies?
So basically, we are working together in this automation journey. So in this automation journey, we've been part for so many years. So the automation is an essential part of our DNA in this communication technology group in HPE. And we've been delivering use cases around activation, fulfillment, even fraud management. We've been working in fraud management in particular for more than 25 years. And we started to actually using the first generation of artificial intelligence, the expert systems in the implementation of correlation systems. And now we are adopting and applying in Red Hat architecture using Intel as well as part of this journey. And we are applying in this 5G and the newest networks, like the disaggregated RAN, in order to tackle with the complexity that is raised in this newest network. So we are applying the newer generation of MLAI for driving this automation journey and to come up with the different use cases that we have on the table.
Thanks, Raul. And Bill, how's Red Hat working with its two partners here to assist telcos?
I think one of the most interesting points, or actually the most fundamental things that I guess Red Hat would offer from this perspective would be just the fact that we have the most comprehensive hybrid cloud platform in the market today. And what's exciting is that Intel and HP both fill different needs from that perspective. And I think the unified offering of these three core technologies becomes a really compelling choice for telecommunications firms. I think everything that has been mentioned already has already been said, but I think the hybrid cloud enablement that Red Hat brings from a cost savings and efficiency perspective is can't be matched.
Thanks, Bill. I'd now like to ask each of you, how are you using data to modernize the telco network and help CSPs make decisions faster? And Bill, let me start by asking you.
Well, in telecommunications, AI and ML can help gain insight into customer behavior, enhance customer experiences, and optimize 5G network performance. And all these areas are enhanced and impacted by data. So Red Hat also has a number of different ecosystem partners certified on OpenShift who are ready to help accelerate AI and ML projects from pilot to production. So we really offer a full ecosystem from that perspective as well.
Thanks, Bill. And Yeang, how are you using data at Intel to help telcos?
Yeah, there are a few examples that I would like to build on top of what Bill mentioned, right? The example use cases that will drive faster decision making, right, for AI adoption. Say, for example, the real-time data analytics to make decision for 5G RAN, radio access network optimization, features like beamforming, service level agreement, KPI prediction, improve spectrum efficiency. All those will help to improve the user experience. That's one use cases. The network slicing management for 5G services, whereby the telco could bundle that together with the service level agreement to offer to the customer, right, will help to not only optimize the 5G network performance, at the same time increase the level of satisfaction from the customer as well. And then we talk about security, right? Security is very important, right? To able to predict the security and fraud prevention, right? There's such opportunity to sell up, right? And in terms of the network itself, right, the capability to do a root cause analysis with a closed loop automation, right, that will take the networks here to the next level of intelligent automation, right? All those are the few examples, right? And it's just scratching the surface right now. There are many other use cases that are coming along.
Sure. Well, thanks for those examples. And Raul, what are you doing at HPE to speed up the decision-making process for telcos?
Yes, just following the way Yeang statement is to the data is the key to take the automation to the next level. So this is the let's say the magic ingredient for the automation that is required in the new network. So the data is the origin of the new automation, but should be processed through this ML AI, because otherwise in the new networks the previous way to manage networks and service, like classic fault management, performance management, with the verbosity of the new networks, with the huge amount of information that is generated by the new services, by the slices, is impossible for a network operation, and there is no room for failure. You need to anticipate, and the way to actuate is by digesting this information with ML AI, using the data generated by these artifacts in 5G in the disaggregated RAN, and even to remediate or even predict before some incidents happen in the networks.
Okay, thank you, Raul. And finally, can each of you give us an example of one of the most exciting or interesting telco use cases that you've seen, and what lessons or takeaways can other CSPs learn from these? Raul, let me come to you first.
So in our case, the most excitement comes from this 5G automation journey. So as I said just before, the new network requires an unprecedented automation, and this level of automation is not it will not be possible without this machine learning AI. So there is a lot of excitement around that. So I'm sure that there will be new use cases to come. There will be even new services with a very strict SLAs for enterprise segment that will require this level of automation. So for us, ML AI together with the right data is the key ingredient for this super exciting journey on automation. For us, the main lesson learned are actually is that this is a journey. The automation is a journey that requires to apply the ML AI different techniques depending on the final use case, always driven by network operations, by service operations. And the main contributors, as we have discussed during the entire session, data at the heart of this automation journey, people who have been working on operation in legacy technologies, in previous technologies, but now they are going to take a new role in order to use this type of new tools based on ML AI, so that they are able to define the new automation process. Tools for sure, where the ML AI is embedded, and finally the new process that will come. And altogether, I think it's also important to have the right commercial models in place in order to help the service provider to adopt this type of new technology. So the concept of as a service is fundamental to help the network operators, the service providers to adopt these new technologies to move on this journey.
Raul, thank you very much for that. Yeang, is there a particular use case that perhaps you'd like to highlight?
One use case, right? Most of the network AI use cases require low latency running along with the network function, right, as an end-to-end function. And this is where the platform architecture and the onboarding environment are very important. The use cases that we work with SKT, just one example, right? We have a few more, but let me just take one example. The SKT 5G, a radio access network with KPI prediction, right? Our partnership throughout the journey the SKT been utilizing the Intel key features like AVX5112, right? It sit within the Xeon platform itself. The acceleration like DL Booster, the analytic juice, their pipeline, right, which is a library, reference library that they are running on top of Xeon, right, help the customer to improve the end-to-end data loading, pre-processing, and as well as addressing the AI inference latency. The key takeaway here is by optimizing the end-to-end AI pipeline performance, data loading and pre-processing, right, that will take more latency than AI inference, right? By optimizing the latency is equally important, right, in order to meet the desired KPI, right? And this one example that I thought is interesting, that they are more focusing on latency, right? And we have other to talk about, right? In the future, this could be one interesting one to go and look at. How do we improve the user experience by looking at the low latency needs?
Absolutely, thank you, Yeang. Bill, final takeaways from yourself?
Yeah, one of the most interesting use cases we've seen is Turkcell, and how it launched its AI hub on OpenShift. And that really involves over 50 different AI applications that include things like digital onboarding of customers, social good and charity awareness, like the Spread the Smile campaign that they did. Based on the size of a customer's smile, it would actually make a larger donation to an animal shelter in Istanbul, which was a really nice use case. Also, music streaming services, chatbot softwares that are available for other businesses to use, but also a fraud detection platform that allows you to really understand the differences between real videos and deep fake videos. And they've come up with some very advanced technologies and really have made them available within this hub service. So that's a really exciting development as far as what I've seen so far.
Great, thank you, Bill. Good point to draw our discussion to a close as well. Thank you to everyone for taking part today. We have several other panels and interviews for you as part of the TelecomTV AI and Automation Summit, and both Bill and Raul will be taking part in some of those. For now though, thank you for watching and goodbye.